Today's video, what if I told you that on my journey to going from looking like this to looking like this, I actually had to raise my calories and reduce my cardio to get there? Let me explain. We're starting right now. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rebella from ProPhysique.com, and today I'm gonna bring you a topic that is probably one of the more recent developments in fat loss success. The idea that we need to eat more and move less. And before you guys click off and change the channel, let me explain to you what I mean, because through the process of dieting, our bodies become very dynamic. This is why you see people that just say, move a little more and eat a little less. They never actually reach their goals because they don't actually understand how the human body responds to fat loss. Sometimes our intuition about fat loss is incorrect. And I am a perfect example of this, and I'm gonna give you an example of what I've been doing the last couple weeks to kind of spur on fat loss as I've now reached below 10% body fat. Actually, I'll have George put some video right here of me from a workout that I did recently, just so you can see how I'm looking. When you're trying to lose body fat, we all know the old adage, yeah, you've got to create a caloric deficit, guys. I talk about it every single day, but today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message from somebody that has been trying to lose fat and they stalled, and now they want to know what they can do other than just keep taking away calories and adding cardio. I'm currently 5'7", 5'8", 157 pounds, coming down from 183 on February 1st. Stalled in my fat loss, but I want to get to 150. I saw an interview you did with a client on YouTube, and you recommended going on a carbohydrate refeed or reload to spur more fat loss. According to the calculator on your website, it has me at around 1,770 calorie intake. According to the scale on my smartwatch, I'm 17 to 19% body fat. Can you detail how much should I increase my calories, carbs, and for how long? Guys, this is probably the greatest tool in my toolbox as a physique and fitness coach. I coach people that reach the absolute pinnacle of physical perfection, okay? Daraja, my client last year, got 4th at the Olympia. I've had clients win world championships. And getting somebody to that point of a physique, it's all about how we preserve the athlete's mental approach and physical approach. You can't just starve somebody down to low body fat, because what happens when they get there, they are a wreck. They rebound, they put on body fat quickly. And something I started noticing years ago was that my competitors that would do multiple shows, when their season ended, they didn't have any problems. And why does this matter? Well, because going into shows as a competitor, you actually start to lower your cardio, you start to bring the food up, you fill the muscles out, you restore the glycogen, but simultaneously, you're also doing less cardio. And intuitively, you'd think, well, you're moving less, you're eating more, wouldn't the scale go up? Wouldn't you add body fat? No, because the body actually responds very differently when you've been restricting for a while. You can increase food and decrease cardio and get a metabolic benefit, improved digestion, improved sleep, improved recovery, reduced inflammation, and you'll actually start dropping weight, which is so counterintuitive that very few people are willing to do it. It took a lot of nerve for me to do this a few years ago with my competitors because they don't want to do it initially. Now, the term diet break, refeed, it's become very common. This is something that I put in place with my competitors years ago. And the thing that I've noticed now as a coach for more than a decade is that my competitors, when the season ends, they're in a great place. Mentally, physiologically, they're able to be eating more food than they were starting their fat loss phase, going into their off season. And what does this mean for them? They get to stay leaner. They get to feel better about themselves. They don't have this kind of irrational fear of food once the show is over because they start binge eating. So how can you apply this to you? And how do the numbers work exactly? So I'm gonna give you some specific examples of what I'm doing right now. My typical low day is around 200, 220 protein, 200 carb, and about 50 fat. And I'm doing about between 60 minutes, and some days I'm doing 120 minutes of walking for my cardio. So what does a diet break mean? That is a period I usually do 7 days. I like to take a full week to just reestablish sleep, recovery, digestion. So what I would do in that situation is I would bring my carbs up for an entire week to 350 grams. I'd cut my cardio all the way down to say 30 to 40 minutes a day, just enough to break a little sweat, get my digestion going, and just feel good. And I would keep that for the entire week. And what would happen? You would notice a little more fullness in the muscle, right? Glycogen uptake in the muscles improves. You're not burning through as many calories when you're doing cardio, but guess what you are doing? You're actually having more natural energy. Guys, we start to conserve energy the longer we diet. So even though you feel like you're eating less and doing more cardio, Some of us will actually have less energy throughout the day. We'll get up less. We'll plan our day less around movement. And when you find that you bring the food up and drop the cardio, I find that people's NEAT goes up. They might be willing to go for more walks. They might start taking their dog. They might start playing with their kids. They might go to the mall. They might start saying yes when they would have said no to being social. These interactions, if you look at this pie chart right here on the screen, you'll see that you burn much more calories throughout the day through NEAT than through exercise. And yet it is NEAT that gets compromised through this process. So it's multifactorial. Why does a diet break work? First of all, the goal for me with a diet break is maintenance. I want to keep my athletes stable. So we just look at this as a week to reset, regroup, and then push ahead. And that's the same thing you could do. Now, the problems with this is that if you go off and you think of it as a break from dieting and you just start binge eating and you just go way off plan and completely change what you've been doing, yes, it can lead to some rapid body fat gain. It can lead to some issues. But if you just take what you've been doing and modify the diet by turning up the calories, modify the cardio by turning it down a little bit, but you're just making these small changes to these toggle switches, you're going to see a valuable change in many things, many outcomes, and your feelings throughout the week, okay? And the leaner you get, for me, below 10% body fat, I can't tell you how good I feel, guys, when I actually get carbohydrates and bring the cardio down and I get to sleep a little bit longer and my sleep is a little bit deeper. It really is altering. So not only do we get to our goal, we get there and we can maintain it. This is how you get lean and stay lean, guys. This is how you lose body fat and keep it off. It's not through going crashing hard. It's through taking your time. Now, if you guys want help with this, guys, we're kicking off our 90-day transformation challenge very soon. And we're in that group to help you. We do live videos every week. We provide nutrition plans, training plans. It's open worldwide. Hell, we even give away cash money to the winners. I just did an interview with Drea yesterday. That's coming out on YouTube. Mind-blowing transformation. But the point there is you've got a deadline, you've got support, you've got a plan, and you've got somewhere to go if you need help. And we're charging $50 for this, but we are going to have a sale very soon to enter this challenge, which will be starting in July. But the point I'm making here, guys, is that it's not just about restricting calories, adding cardio, and just always feeling like that's where it's going to lead. No, I'm telling you, the great thing about doing this as a lifestyle is I've found, I hate to use the word hacks, but for lack of a better term, you are changing the dynamic of dieting because you are actually putting yourself in a maintenance recovery phase and benefiting from it in the long term. So guys, to me, this recovery or diet break period is without a doubt the single greatest thing you can do. And if you're not familiar with the diet break specifically, I've done whole videos on just that topic. I've done them on how to add high carbohydrate refeeds. You basically just restore some glycogen, bring down some cardio, and you just feel better. All right, guys. If you have any questions about diet breaks, put them in the comments below because I can do a whole PowerPoint presentation on this because I've got crazy documentation on athletes of mine that I've coached that I've brought their food up and dropped their calories and their weight just started plummeting, right? The human body is quite amazing. And I've got thousands of case studies of my athletes who are so detailed with their nutrition that I can actually see how it works. And I'm just sharing that with you guys to help you towards your goals. And if you're still here and you haven't hit subscribe, please do that. It makes my day. And I got a lot of good stuff coming your way in the next few days, weeks, and months. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.